Hey, it's Dr. Shante. And whenever we think of comfort food, we tend to think of mac and cheese, pint of your favorite ice cream, cookies. But we're not talking about that kind of comfort food today. Today, we're talking about the spiritual and emotional comfort food, some of the toxic things that we run to when we're feeling pain, anxiety, or stress. Keep watching. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, you find value in it, make sure that you like it at the end and make sure to subscribe so that you know every single time I post new content. Now, emotional comfort food. Whenever we feel pain or stress or anxiety, we will naturally seek out ways to relieve it. When we feel fear or shame or we're insecure about something, we will look for ways to alleviate whatever it is that we're feeling. And sometimes what we turn to is food, alcohol. But on today's episode, I'm going to talk about some of the other things that we turn to, some of the toxic behaviors and mindsets that lead us to a worse place than where we started. On my podcast, Whole and Complete, I did a whole series on spiritual obesity. And if you want to check that out, I will definitely leave the link down below in the description. But when I'm talking about spiritual and emotional comfort food, what I'm referring to is that go-to method of self-sabotage that we run to when we feel overwhelmed with negative emotions. And it seems easier to self-sabotage than it does to really process, sit with, and feel the feelings from whatever it is that we're experiencing that's causing us pain or stress or anxiety. So what are some examples of this? One example might be emotional distance. You will shut people down and go into isolation because now you've told yourself that you can't trust people and you feel like it's better to isolate than it is to do the work of real resolution. Sometimes we use people, we use their resources for recreational purposes, and we want them to spend their time and their energy and sometimes their resources to make us feel better and give us that stamp of approval and validation once our self-esteem has taken a hit. Sometimes we use people and we start focusing all of our attention on their problems because we need a project. And so we start investing ourselves into giving them advice and to pouring into them because we need the distraction from dealing with our own problems. And all of those things are problematic. All of those things in their own way are unhealthy. And none of those things bring us any closer to dealing with what's really going on with us. Don't get me wrong. We all have our unhealthy ways of coping. We've all done something or things that we're not proud of in order to alleviate pain, stress, and anxiety. But when it becomes a pattern, when it becomes our default coping mechanism because we don't want to have the difficult conversation or we don't want to set the boundaries or we don't want to be vulnerable or we don't want to risk experiencing any sort of rejection, that's when it becomes toxic. That's when it becomes a detriment. And I can tell you from experience, when you don't deal with your issues, they will definitely deal with you. Just like in real life, if you eat junk food every now and then, it's not going to have too much of an impact. But if you keep eating foods that are not healthy for you, eventually you are going to pack on the pounds. And likewise, when you don't deal with your issues and you keep running to things that you know are not good for you, it is going to weigh you down even more than the original thing that you're running from and don't want to deal with. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you can relate to this, please drop a comment down below so that I can respond. And if you want more tips on wellness, please make sure you visit my podcast, Whole and Complete. I will make sure that I put the link down below. So if you found value in this video, make sure that you like it, make sure that you share it, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for post notifications so that you know every single time I post new content. And I'll see you next time.